And he said, I was only here for the first mimer that he said, but he explained something in a way that I never understood, which is the basics of basics of basics of all consciousness itself and how we understand it. And I think it's Kedat Chaza, a couple of the points that he made, all because they're fresh on the mind, and it's new ways of understanding things. One of the biggest concepts of creation, and when we talk about creation, we're really talking about our consciousness as we experience this world. What's the screen playing out? What's the movie? What's the video game in front of us that we're playing? What is this matrix that we're in? What's the whole system? So Kabbalah is the basic understanding of what that is. The whole idea of the Asasiris and all of that is the structure of what our consciousness is. Forget about what the beings are, what the things are, but as we experience it. So one of the big things as we start this discussion of Riyas HaOlam is if Hashem is Malach Halaretz K'vaydai, if Hashem fills the whole world everywhere, and Hashem's power is everywhere, and Hashem's power is a nuclear power plant, how can you create anything within a nuclear power plant? The second you create anything, it will be absolved and destroyed the second it's created because it's within the thing itself. So, if Hashem is everywhere, how can anything exist within? If Hashem is one, if there's only singularity, if Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, how could there be me and you and this one and this thing and two separate things and beings if this everything is just one? How does that system work? So one of the first things that they would go to explain within creation is what they call understanding that yes, Malach Halaretz K'vaydai, Hashem is everywhere, but in order to create this whole world, including all the planets, including all the worlds, including all the Malachim and Serafim, including everything that's not Atzmi HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, everything within the system, everything, he had to create what they call a Halal HaPana, a place, Kaviyachal, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu cleared that intense energy out, made something called Tzimtzum, and then there's a conversation back and forth of, was it Tzimtzum, what they call Tzimtzum, not Tzimtzum, literal Tzimtzum or not literal Tzimtzum, what does that even mean, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took his energy and created his place, so everything is everything, and then within that space, all of a sudden it starts creating a space, a hollow space, Kaviyachal, where he's not, so that within that space he can create, within there.
Where he's not, or where his light is limited?
Where there's a vacuum of the unlimited force, that creates a vacuum. Within that space is what everything that we can encounter or see or experience or anything is within that space, and everything we can't also. Is all within that space, Kaviyachal, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu being mitzamtzim himself, reducing himself outward, and creating that space, so that everything could be created. And then from there, there's the extension cord is what's called the kav, the line that comes in that powers this whole halal. And that's how we understood it, and that's the way it's explained in the basic understanding. The way that Joey explained it last night was a little bit different and fascinating. He said, think of Tzimtzum the other way. Instead of Tzimtzum being Hashem's everywhere, and now he created a spot, and then from there it was mispashit that spot, right? To create this halal hapana. If you have to imagine it, if it's everywhere, how do you create a halal hapana? You start with one dot. And then you just expand it out from there, right? And that's what means the name Shakai, Sha'amar La'Maydai, it was expanding and expanding and expanding.
The book has multiple dots.
Right. But the idea is that it all starts from a dot and expands. The way that Joe was saying it last night was, think of it the other way. Think of you have a white piece of paper that's covered in black ink. And you want to write something. In order to write something, you have to get rid of the black ink.
Turn it over.
Gotta white it out.
So either you can white it out, which means put white on top of the black again, or you can get the black to be mitzamtzum itself, and just keep reducing itself and reducing itself and reducing itself, and taking all of that energy from the entire space, and keep reducing it down, like when you do a reduction in cooking and you're reducing it down.
Like put it in by the corner?
You keep reducing it down, making it more dense.
If you have a liquid
You kept it
base,
really
And you
corner,
get
yeah.
rid
cook
of
it up. You cook it up.
Yeah,
you
get
cook
denser
it up
and
and now it
denser,
becomes
smaller,
condenser
smaller,
and
yes.
condenser and condenser. It becomes denser and denser and denser, but it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. But the entire thing is in the entire thing.
Yeah, even smaller.
Nothing, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to that tiny, tiny dot. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachal was mitzamtzum himself. Instead of thinking tzimtzum as a broad hollow space, think of tzimtzum as everything within the tiny, tiniest dot. Those dots are the pixels. You know, when you buy a TV and there's what makes one TV a better TV than the other? How many pixels it has, right? This is 1280p, this is 1340, right? There's different, the amount of bulbs that are in there, in the TV, is what makes it a better TV. Why? Because that's what can give you a clearer picture. A clear picture. The more dots that they have, the more difference in color you can have. This one can be blue, this one can be green, this one can be this. So it brings out a much more vibrant color, the more pixels the thing has. So think of every pixel and everything we encounter, everything in the world is a pixel of that incomplete reduction of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everything is HaKadosh Baruch Hu in front of you. Everything we encounter is all of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll work it backwards for a second. The Baal Shem, some of the Talmidim, I don't remember which one, asked them to explain to them this whole concept of Achdus, that everything is one. It says the Baal Shem went to the top of a mountain and jumped off the mountain and shattered into a million little pieces. And they went down and they picked up every piece, and every piece was a tiny, complete Baal Shem. Just break your head on that one. Meaning, like Bike Sinai. Meaning, every piece contains the whole thing. And when you understand symptoms like this, you can start understanding this concept. That every piece contains everything.
Yeah.
It's called what we call fractile. Fractile means everything contains everything. Every drop of what you're seeing contains the entire picture. When they do what's called telepathy, where they shine down and you can actually see the person moving, what's it called?
Holograph?
Hologram, how does a hologram work? How does the light, you can take a picture, you can put a camera on top of you over here, and in Africa, you could be, whatever you're doing here, it'll actually show you as the whole person. How does that technology work? I mean, you could have a concert going on in 10 stadiums at 100 stadiums at the same time.
It was the first one.
Because you can.
It was the first hologram.
Yeah. So now they're getting really good at these hologram games. Tupac Shakur. Anyway.
He was the biggest rapper.
Anyway.
Used to be, no?
So when you have this hologram, how does a hologram work? A hologram works that every part of every picture, every pixel of the picture has the entire picture. That's how it works.
Because otherwise it would have to reflect off of something.
So now let's go to, like the Rebbe always says, from my flesh I will understand this idea. What does that mean? If we take our body, right? You could take a cell, one tiny cell, put it under a microscope, and all of your DNA, they can figure out exactly who you are from the tiniest piece of you.
They can clone you.
Within you,
Pitsy thingy.
from the tiniest piece within you is all of
They
you.
can clone you with one
They
cell.
can clone you with one cell.
But they can't clone consciousness.
They can't clone the consciousness yet. But the idea, so we start understanding that all of me is in a drop. So this concept, like my daughter once asked me when she came out of the ocean, she looked at puts a drop on her finger and she says, am I holding a drop of the ocean or the ocean in a drop? She's holding the whole ocean in a drop. There's nothing in the ocean that's not on her finger. Nothing. The entirety of water, of the entire ocean is right here. Meaning it's the same exact concept. It's all in the drop, in every piece of everything. Meaning, so any experience we have, now take it back to consciousness and how that means.
And what we do with that.
In our
Yeah.
lives, is every single thing we encounter, every person, every experience, is all of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when you choose to leave that, you're moving on to the next thing. But everything is everything. Sometimes you come in the morning, we always say, not everybody's always vibrating at 10%. Right? Not all of us get to vibrate at 10% every day. Shen is scared that we should have a couple of days to come in here feeling expansive, feeling perfect, feeling I know exactly my mission in this world. I'm out to go get it. Everything's flowing perfectly. Everything's working out for me perfectly. Those days of what Rabbi Pinto will call atzilus, when you're operating from a place of clarity, where everything really stimms.
Focus.
It's not every day. Some days we walk in at 4.5, some days at 2.5. Every day we work. But the avodah of this vart is, when I come in at 2.5, I say, Hashem, I'm here at 2.5, but 100% of my 2.5. I'm going to operate from 100% of my 2.5 because this is what's being presented to me right now, and this is all of Kodesh Brichu. This is all of everything. Because in order for me to have consciousness, it had to be reduced into everything had to be reduced into this second, this experience, this person, this is everything in one. And when I'm choosing to move on to the next everything in one, that's my choice. But right now, in every situation you are encountering, and that's B'chol Derechecha De'eyu, and that's the idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in every single thing, complete by reducing himself down, by understanding Tzimtzum in that way. It was a mind-blowing way of understanding Tzimtzum from Joey last night. Everything is in one in every experience. Everything is in one in every experience. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Everything is one in every experience. We are experiencing my full past, all of my future. Everything is in every experience. Everything.
Why? Because there's only one.
Because there's
only one consciousness. There's nothing else.
Correct. And that was reduced down to this experience.
And the more push the thing is, just the more concentrated it is. Yeah?
Correct.
The more push the thing is, the more level.
It's reduced down to matter. Matter now became a table.
It's the same idea.
Matter became you. But if I took a cell out of the table and I put it under there, it also has its thing, which has everything and everything. And when you try to take an atom back up a level, what happens? It becomes an atom bomb.
Yeah.
You're going back into the energy of creation. You're taking it up a step. The second you start tapping into the energy that's creating the atom, and you figure out how to release that by smashing two atoms together, and you figure out how to release that energy that's stored in those, that's creating the thing called matter, the thing that's this, the V'ata Machaya is Kulam, the energy source that gives rise to all of creation. That is in itself consciousness. That in itself is Kodesh Brichu in everything. And when you start understanding how does that happen, how does it work, with the vibrations of every letter in Aleph base. Meaning, say he's reduced everything down to the little Aleph and Vayikra, that everything is the tiniest Aleph. Everything is matter, is Alufa Shalom. Everything is the big Aleph, just mitzumtzum down to the little Aleph. That reduced it down to look like it's smaller, but it contains the all.
How does every letter start? With a tiny yud, and it draws down. Every letter starts with a tiny, tiny dot.
Everything starts with the dot that's expanded.
Tiny dot, and it goes
We
down.
this term before we started to learn the observatory.
Right, so this is very, very, very basic for that. That's why I said it's important to understand these concepts, especially before learning any Torah Hasidus, which is all built, and this is what he was talking about last night so much, about from Moshe Rabbeinu down to Shem Yochai, down to Dariza, down to Baal Shem Tov, down to Rabbeinu, the Torah that was revealed on every level. But one of the things that he said that I think is very good for us to really take away and think about Reb Nachman, he says he brought down 4 basic things, and I left when he just brought them down, but he really boiled down 4 medicines, he called them, from Reb Nachman, if I can try to remember them. The first one, not in order, but one of them that he had, one of the big ideas was Hispoididus. The idea of Hispoididus, the idea of, and he said something beautiful, he says, sometimes it's very hard to get it going. To get the conversation with Hashem going is, I feel like you ever have one of those lawnmowers or power washers, you try to pull to get it started, and sometimes it takes a bunch of pulls to get that thing started.
Age yourself.
What?
Use
I just aged myself. Right now they have remotes for that. But yeah, so those things, sometimes you can stand in the park, you can stand yourself, you can stand just to get it started, and you say, Hashem, hello, I'm having a rough time getting this conversation started. I don't know why. I'm feeling like
That's why they're gonna say it's 1,000 times when you learn.
A Rebbe of mine once told me, I don't know if this tripped me out more in a bad way or not, but he said that when you're davening, when you're able to when the words flow and it feels comfortable speaking to Hashem, that's Hashem listening to you and you're in the good space. But when you're having some trouble, it's also meaning it's Hashem's also kind of but this is not really a param relationship right here. And it makes you feel worse when it's it's not like I'm not able to communicate right now.
Okay, so he said so much about exactly this. I was literally going to get to this point where he said that once you get it started, he said the positive point, but we'll get to the negative point. Once we get it started, once you get that coming, I've had it sometimes when I go to the park by me and I start talking, and I come home and I'm still talking. And I say, Hashem, I'm not done yet. Give me a minute. I'm not ready to go home, okay? Relax a second. When you get into that,
It works.
Once it gets started, once you go with the cruise control on that, he called it Nevuah. So it's a darga Ruach HaKodesh of Nevuah. It's coming through you at this point. Once you can get it clear.
Wow.
So what you were saying about not being able to hold kavanah, by the way, huge trick is either now, thank you for your phone.
Yeah, that works massive.
That helps. That helps a lot for kavanah.
Why?
Bent.
Because
it
Bishman
reminds
Esther?
you how
Yes,
kavanah.
yeah, you told me
Any alarm
that.
that goes off in the show is for
Remind-
you.
Yeah,
Any
since you
noise-
told me that, I'm a shiner, somebody's walking around, they're
It's
making noise, it's a
changing.
check-in.
Any noise that we
It's
hear
good, it
about
works.
is
If
there
not, it's a
for
problem.
you
I'm starting to get
remember
angry.
how kavanah.
Why are you making noise?
If somebody else's phone rings, it's just a message for you. Hello, you having kavuna? That's it. It's a message for you. Don't fight
Hello?
it. Don't say
Hello?
whose phone is ringing.
Hello?
Middle of whenever. It's just remember. It's a message for you. Whatever you hear is always a message for you, and just check in to what you're doing. Don't focus on that noise. Focus on yourself, and let that noise guide you.
It's to grab your consciousness.
Okay, what's the negative points?
So, Joey was saying very, very powerful last night that we carry so much trauma and we're carrying so many pekla going back to Adam Arishan. But in our last generation, our parents, our grandparents that have gone through the Holocaust, they're carrying so much trauma. That feeling of, oh my God, I have to do something to feel worthwhile. And if I didn't do it, I'm nothing. That is trauma we're carrying for no reason. That's what we're saying outside now. A guy says, when I wake up in the morning and I miss Vesikin, I don't feel my day the same. So you can't do that. Because the second you wake up and you feel, I missed Vesikin, the rest of your day is going through that mindset. It's not true. You got up now, and you're going to go do your thing. The second you feel like, I'm not good enough, I'm not loved enough, I would have been a better person if I did, that's not emes.
But he's allowed to think that
I wanna do tomorrow.
I like my Vesikin day. I
not
like
telling
better
you,
my
not telling you
Vesikin
not.
day. Yeah.
You don't have to go to the other
Yeah.
side.
Shabbos,
You don't have to attach to that
Thank you,
feeling.
thank you.
That
You
only
made
that
it 2
works.
days in a row from Monroe. Thank you.
Leibel, Tzloch
Or
Rabba.
even that it's the right thing to do. There's a lot of right things to do.
Joey, also the point being,
It's not the only right thing to do. You can
Yeah,
have
you
more
get-
than one
yeah,
right thing to do at the time.
Don't get lost in whatever first thought that brings you to the wrong side.
sauce.
It's just know that there's a plan. Regain, really flame up it so well. Just remember there's ground under your feet. There's no flight moment. You could fight, and you'll be fine. Or whatever it will be, it will be. You can't forget that. You can't run into the and then flight. run. That's what it boils back down to for me.
100%, 100%. Because that's once you have that feeling of disconnection, then it's open season.
Right.
It's
Can I
open
share
season.
something at that note? I got there to school 2 days before Shears, and of course after the flight I slept in, and I woke up and it was after second Krishna, and I missed it. So the first second was like, mamish like. And then right before I went to sleep, Abdullah left me a message. He said, Yom Sigila, whatever, one of the 3 days. So it popped into my mind, and I said, what does Sigila means? Just that I'm being loved by Hashem. What does it matter if, that's what Hashem wanted. I missed Krishna, I'm loved. And from one side, I kind of changed everything, and I just went in with that mindset that she is. It was mamash a game changer.
Wow.
It's so emes. It's so emes. We wake up and we feel that trauma. Yes, we have to say Krishma on time. Yes, to say Krishma on time. And we do have to. And nobody's saying that, and we have to wash my makroinim, and every single thing that it says in Shulchan Aruch we have to do. We do have to do it, no questions asked. But if we find ourselves in a situation after the fact, we find ourselves in a situation, know that that's how it had to be.
You're out of control.
Know that after the fact. Know that that's how it had to be, and move on.
What if you're gonna get down from it? It's gonna push you next time. That's the opposite.
Again, it's not about getting down. It's about knowing that I want to keep going up. I'm on a ladder going up.
Yes, but he's
I'm
saying
on a
he's
ladder.
down already.
No, but the down
He's saying
feeling should be
down.
a fleeting moment. It should be
That's what he's saying.
It's as long as you're.
If you're building it
to bring-
off a down, you don't have a proper structure.
Maybe
No,
not.
it's
by
not
the
like
way.
falls
Maybe
7
not.
times.
No,
The only
it's
way
not- it's
you
not
get back up is
falling
because you
down.
fell.
No problem.
Only way this time to
There's
get back
things-
up is
there's
because you
things
fell.
that- One second. There's things that hold you up and that prop you up throughout your life, and those are good. They propel you. But once you don't need that propulsion,
That's not true.
then you move ahead. Until then, you're stuck in that space.
Okay, but he was saying about building on a negative energy or feeling.
Exactly what I just
When do
said.
you have to?
Let's talk about that.
When do you
That's
have
really-
to? When
but
do you
that's-
sharpen a blade? Not when it's sharp already. When it's dull.
That's tshuva. What you're asking is really tshuva me'ava. Tshuva me'ava means that I look at some place where I messed up
We have a second.
and I say, I don't want to mess up like that again. And because of that, I make a life change in my life. And I say, from now on,
Or a
I'm
moment
not,
change.
I'm not bringing, at the moment that when we make the change, it has to be a life change.
Otherwise,
I
it's a
love the
momentary
last-
change.
It's in that moment. It's a life changing moment.
Correct.
Very
And we make
very.
a life-changing moment. And because we fell into a place that we don't want to fall again, and we make a change in our life, we decide we're not going to bring the phone into shul. We're going to make an adjustment. We're going to, make some type of change
Chiropractor.
some type of chiropractor adjustment in my
Boundaries.
system. I feel like, and again, the key, to fall in one thing and make an adjustment in Zman Krishma is not necessarily always
What needs to be done?
valid. Meaning, so what's the case? How do we do it? The thing I fell in, it's generally not that thing that I'm struggling with so much. It's the thing
The
that
outcome.
led up to it. It's not anger that I'm
It's the
suffering
outcomes,
with.
yeah.
I'm not an angry person, so why don't I just lose it at my kid, at my wife,
No,
at,
it's the effort.
at my
It's not the
partner?
outcome, it's the
It's
effort.
So going into what is the trigger? Going
What am I
up-
missing that this
What's
happened
triggering
or
me
something?
that's making me go to a website that I said I'd never go to again? What's the trigger before the thing? The thing itself is not the thing. It's what's the feeling? Is it shame? Is it loneliness? Is it disconnection? What's the feeling that I
That's what we said
experienced?
yesterday.
By the way,
before?
this
Two-
podcast
Two
talked
bad
about
people.
how pornography is the most custom-made drug, depending on what you're feeling. That's incredible, by the way.
Wow. Wow.
The most custom-made drug. You're feeling like you're missing connection. Oh, you can type in that. You want you can type in anything you want,
Wait,
wherever
but-
you're feeling. It's when you
We
tap
like
into
to play with
why you
others.
search, why you're searching for. It's crazy.
I'm telling you.
It's a major moment
I
to be
know,
able to
yeah, it should
identify.
be.
Actually, wait a minute, what was that trigger? That was
Yeah, so that's huge. When you can take the step back and think one step back, what was the feeling I was feeling?
It's
right
beautiful. And you
before?
wouldn't know in the beginning on anything. You wouldn't know like what. You have to really
When
miss
you're
point
in it.
and do the
Correct.
exercise, like
And-
what's going on
And
here.
that's what you do in a spider this. And that's
Wow.
exactly what you do in a spider this. You say, let me go through a couple of things that happened today. How I
You knock it
reacted,
out.
And let's think about what the feeling was and then
That's
it's before.
spiders.
Before, yeah, what was I-
This is different than Cheshbon and Nefesh?
right. Yeah,
That
that's
sounds more like
All the
Cheshbon
same
and
thing.
No. Cheshbon Nefesh
All
is
the
oh I
same
did this, I
You do,
did this.
that's what you do in a spider.
Okay.
You go, let's talk about my day. Hashem, let's discuss how we did today. You
Yeah.
know, back to this interesting, when you put this interesting word into the conversation, we always say, right? Somebody ticks you off, and you just respond with the word
interesting.
interesting.
My wife, since we spoke about, my wife started using it on me. I know who told her. I know who told her. She's like, interesting.
Great,
Yeah.
great, it's great, but it's a great word. And what the real interesting, what we're saying,
No, it made me laugh. Like, ooh, she's up to something.
that's
Yeah,
the
she
maybe
is.
she's on the line.
She's
Maybe.
Go on. She's locked in.
But the idea is not forget how not forget how I'm feeling, forget how they're feeling. But if you really go into the emes of the situation, you say, Hashem, you're putting me in a situation. My wife's pissed off, my kids, somebody's, something's happening here. I am being put in a situation. Interesting. Interesting. It's interesting how you're feeling. It's interesting how I'm feeling. Interesting. If you could take those 2 seconds in any stressful situation and just add the word
Wow.
interesting. The first time you say it, the wife will get really, what the heck? You say, no, it's interesting how you feel. Instead of me responding
Reacting.
and reacting, I'm acknowledging the whole situation. It's interesting how you feel.
That's
It's
when
interesting
it
how you're making
happens.
me feel.
That's when it happens.
It's interesting that
Someone
Hashem's
does it
putting
to
me in
you.
the situation.
That's when someone does it to you.
And then when you do it to yourself,
Right.
that's where we're going. Exactly.
That's the
and
one-
then when you find yourself
And
in
I'm
these
just-
situations, you say to yourself,
Interesting.
interesting, Zish.
Yeah, that's
Interesting. That's how you don't
Interesting what
need
just
anybody.
happened.
You don't need anybody.
No,
No, it's not a challenge. I think it's exploring. Like, interesting. Ooh, let's go
It-
into
it-
this.
So we started-
It's like a timeout.
It's a timeout.
Yeah.
It's like a timeout.
in your brain.
Take a
When
break.
a
Don't
customer
fight.
attendant tells you something that you really don't like, the response is interesting. You can either say it loud, you can say it low. You don't have to say it loud. But it's interesting when you say it loud, it becomes even more fun. but just say interesting. What you're doing is you're taking all your emotions and keeping them at bay. I'm not responding right this second. This whole situation is interesting. This whole situation is interesting.
I gotta do a playback.
It's interesting. Why? How could you even make me feel this way? Interesting.
Or is it
crazy.
Or is it opportunity? Is it a challenge or is it opportunity?
It's a secret power.
So I say, what's opportunity? Break the
It's
word.
this is
Break the word down.
It's opportunity.
Upper tune, ITY. I thank you.
Wow.
If we're tuned in to
We're in thank
put
you
me
mode.
in this spot right now.
Not your
As an opportunity. No, but that's what it is. It's a challenge. People bug out. It's a trouble. It's a challenge. Put me to this
I
spot.
want to
I don't
finish
know.
the other three things.
I
that
should
he
put me in
said.
this. It's like when you
Yeah,
want to
no,
experience. It's
it's
like
good. He
as it grows up.
said,
Yeah.
what were the other three things he said? He said, another one of the things which he said very interesting is, Reb Nachman doesn't talk a lot about tikva and hope and all of that. He
Yeah.
looks at and he says the way Reb Nachman looks at it is more asulit yaesh. The asulit yaesh is Reb Nachman's way of saying hope.
Simcha.
Can you
There's-
define? Can you touch those?
And then there was simcha.
Shemish.
This is Ancient Yish. Simcha, his spider this.
The last one was Torah Tefillah.
Tartfin, very good, Shkad. Shkad. So the way he went into Asalit Yaesh means we've all got
Lit yash to use?
No, to
Get
give
down.
up. To give up. To give
Asor
up, to give up.
l'tayesh.
No
Despair.
such thing as
There's
despair.
Asur Lit
I
Yaesh.
was going into the Morish Torah thing.
The whole Mashkaya thing he was talking about.
Not Tefillah.
The whole idea of we can get to a point at any point in our lives and our days where we say, I just can't anymore. I just can't anymore. And then we really, really, really say, I can't finish. And in certain situations, I just can't. And then we close our eyes and we open our eyes.
10 minutes later, everything's
And the floor is there. And
Everything's working, everything. Anyways, yeah.
Take a breath.
No atom bomb
No
exploded.
atom bomb exploded. And I'm still here. And I'm still going to be able to move through. So you realize that there is no such thing as Yish.
But what if he has a gun?
Oh wow, it's like and reality
There
is so
is
don't
no
even
such
tune
thing.
in there because it's not true.
It's not there true anyway.
Wow.
You are
don't
just
even-
feeling
Yeah,
your moments.
exactly. You're having a experience. It's like
But what if he has a gun? Attacker, you're right.
yeah,
He may have a gun.
yeah, again, but yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
he may have a gun.
Okay,
Ain't
has a
shooting
gun.
you. Most people who have a gun are not going to shoot you if you don't have a gun. You really?
We're making bumper stickers.
I go very far.
Humfakir shtos.
Alright.
Humfakir
What if you have a
So
gun?
the idea of, if you have a gun,
But what if you have a gun?
use it. Yish, the idea of we know we're going to get to this point where I just can't anymore. So before that point, we start giving up. I don't want to get to that point
So
of,
he doesn't talk
oh my
about.
God.
no,
So
yeah,
I
so-
give up at 60%, at 70%.
Why? Because
I'm
why
scared
don't
to
why
get
don't
there.
why am I scared?
Because when you get to there, who knows?
Like
Because-
mind control,
my-
like
Because
you
you have
got
limiters. You
control.
have limiters. You have.
My
You tell you
whole
you
life
have
is
Like
limiters.
fears, like fears.
Yes,
Like you're
a
scared of
limiter
being
is
there,
anything
going
that's
there?
going to a limiter is anything that tells you I can't. So the second you hear yourself saying I can't or someone telling you I can't, throw it away.
I can't as a year situation.
Why
Yeah,
get to that spot?
I can't.
Because you
Leave.
want to grow.
It's gonna hit the years.
Of course. That's when we
That's what
say
he's
I
saying. He
can.
doesn't put you in that box.
Why do
to think that way.
95% of companies fail in America?
Yeah, new businesses.
Why do 99% of new businesses fail? I don't know why I'm giving a number, but whatever, somewhere in that range.
I think it's
why
one of
does,
10.
why does 99% of the world work for 1% of the world? And that's how it works.
Because of Yish.
Because of Yish. Because they were
They had ones. They
scared.
had what big
They
dreams
all had-
once.
99%
Yeah, everybody
of
had
the
big
companies-
dreams.
But then they saw Wednesday that they don't have money for payroll.
Ganz Meshiga.
So they went crazy and they shut the company down on Thursday. And that's what happens every single day. Not having the Asur L'Tyaesh means you go into Thursday without
Walk
money.
to your yeah.
And it'll figure itself out. But you need Asur L'Tyaesh means don't be scared of that doomsday moment because
Wow.
A, it's fake. Because look, we're still here.
It's a limiter.
Yeah.
It's fake. The whole doomsday. My life is over. This time, Benich Bakat, there's no way even Hashem, you can't get me out
And
of
go
this
into
one.
the bad. Even
And
if
look-
and it happens, you close one business, people open. Most people
Yes.
who close one business open another one.
Usually.
Anybody that made $1 million lost more than that the first time.
Wow.
And anybody that lost $1 million has made $1 million again. Because it's the same people. You know, we always say, we spoke about the other day, if we would take all the cash in the world and distribute it equally to every single person in the world, each person would end up with approximately $67,000. Every single person in the world, if we took all the wealth in the world and distributed it equally, each person in the world would end up with $67,000.
See, that was pretty good.
Within less than 10 years, probably between 5 to 10 years, all that money will end up back in the original pockets. Very, 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 very powerful understanding. Because it has nothing to do with the money. It has nothing to do with the money. It's your attitude towards money. It's how do you feel about having this money? Do you have the kalim to hold on to this money? The people that have it today have it because they have the kalim to hold on to it. Other people have it for a minute. People win the lottery and it ends up right back. Comes right back. You know, you ever watch football and you see a beautiful throw and you see that one guy hit the other guy and you know that's coming right back. You could throw a pass a mile long, he could catch it, but it's coming right back because he doesn't have the caliber. there's a foul on the play. Meaning, if you don't have the kalim to hold on, and that's what's so important, and Besikin is one of the best starts of making kalim.
Why? Because of tefillah?
No, because structure.
Uh-huh.
Structure. It has you in bed early, Besikin doesn't
knocks
start
you out
in
in the morning, it makes the kalim.
Besikin starts at night. Every single time. Besikin, you make a decision at 7
It shows that
o'clock
you're
at night.
ready to come first.
At 7 o'clock
You're
at
gonna
night,
wake
you're
up.
making
You're
your
gonna
decision
make it happen.
about Besikin.
You're waking
If you
up
go to
late.
sleep late, please don't come. You're an oinus. You're an oinus. Meaning, it's not a thing. You have to make your decision at 7 o'clock at night. If you're tired in the morning, you overslept. Of course you overslept. You went to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't go. It's not a thing.
Did the last minute.
It's not a thing. That's what I'm saying.
Still here.
How many hours is necessary for a person? For real. To be
Each
alert.
person
Because I used to
separate.
try to sleep 7-8 hours. I was brain fogged the whole day. And
Too
too
much?
much. Yeah.
I have the same one.
Yeah, when I sleep a little, not like 5 hours,
really
5.5 hours.
Who
Oh yeah?
says? Shmuley says 5.5 hours. L'chaim, Shmuley.
That's a secret sauce. That's a secret sauce.
5.5 is a good number. If you can.
You have a lot of people coming out. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're pro Palestine.
Sorry, such a troll of nothingness.
Still there? Still there?
So big thing. You said it. You said it. You said it. You said it. Yeah. When I hear music, my kids need to know if they a new CD. Used to do CDs.
Oh my god.
And I put in a new CD, and I get so frustrated. There's no chiddush on it. There's no chiddush. It's just the same thing over and over. A new voice, a new this, but there's no chiddush in the music. When Yehuda Green came out, chiddush. Yeah, what's his name? Adama Vishamayim, or the whole what's his name with all the DJ. Mad Dub came out, chiddush. There was some chidushim that came out in Yiddish music. Yeshariba was a chiddush. Chidushim.
What makes it a chiddush?
It's a different thing. It's a different thing. Yeah, it's a different. It's totally different
Everything
thing.
after Mordechai ben David all sounded the same up until 2015.
Exactly.
Yitzchak Fuchs is a chiddush.
Yahweh is a chiddush. Chiddush is beautiful.
Omer Adam.
Reb
He's a
Nachman said
chiddush.
about
I like him.
himself. Reb
I like
Nachman
him.
said about himself, "Ein chiddush kamoni ba'olam." There was never a chiddush like me in the world.
Right. I was just talking to my wife about this last night, by the way. You people have to have an ego.
Got the
Yeah,
Jews,
you have to.
baby.
Yeah.
Jews.
You must have.
One of the things about the Jewish people, just in general, we do believe we're special. We do believe, I hold myself to a higher standard.
Yes. And that's where it
100%.
starts.
And
That's
otherwise
exactly where
we
it
fall into
starts.
despair.
And it's the exact opposite of saying, let's fight anti-Semitism. Fight anti-Semitism means we're nothing. People are attacking us. Oh my God, let's complain about people attacking us as underdogs. That's fighting anti-Semitism. Stop it. Come out proud.
Wear
Yes,
your tefillin.
exactly like you say.
Wear your tefillin.
Yes, we're
Go to
Jews,
shul.
we're responsible, we take full
Wear
responsibility
your
for our
kippah.
actions. We do the best we can. Every country we ever came to, we only boosted the economy. We became the doctors, the lawyers, the accountants for everybody. And we do well.
That's why the world hates us.
And then every country that ever kicked us out crumbled afterwards within 5 years. The entire thing always crumbles. The whole, every big, Spain after they kicked us out, and then Germany after they kicked us out. Everyone crumbles after they kick us out. We do our best. We're here. We understand that this is not our land. We understand that we're visitors on your land, but we come here and we'll probably employ most of you. But we do our best. We do our best. And probably, you're living in one of a Jewish guy's house and you're probably paying rent there.
And you don't want to,
And you're probably shopping in some of his supermarkets and you'll end up in his nursing home.
And you shop at Rainbow.
And you may, but we're going to try to provide the best services we can for you while we make a lot of money. Because we have a lot of needs. We have a lot of tzedakah we need to give. So we need to make a lot of money. But we're here to serve, and we're proud. And yes, we probably do run Hollywood. Kanye is not wrong when he says the Jews run Hollywood. Yeah, he got up and said, the other comedian on Netflix, I've got his name, he's very funny. Schwartz, the guy gets up and goes, one would believe that Jews, he goes, I've been around Hollywood for 30 years. I'm there every single day in every office and the things. He goes, if somebody would believe that the Jews actually run Hollywood, they wouldn't be wrong. He goes, but to be stupid enough and say it. Meaning, they know it, but you can't say it. So let's all agree to lie. So let's all agree to lie. Us Jews, we're going to hide under the rock and just call anti-Semitism. Instead of, no, we're proud Jews and we're billionaires and we do the best we can for
Except
every
in the
country
spotlight
we've
stuff,
ever been in. And we're here to do our best in this country.
It's the one time.
And we're here to serve.
The world.
We're here to serve. And we're going to make a lot of money. And we're going to do crazy things with that money. We're going to build Maimonides Hospital, Mount Sinai Hospital. You know, all of these things
Beth
are Jewish.
Israel.
Beth Israel Hospital. We're gonna be every doctor you're gonna go to from your toe to your head is gonna be Greenberg Moses, you know, in
Literally.
one of those. We're here to serve, and we're proud Jews. We're not here hiding. You want to be anti-Semitic in the colleges? Knock yourself out. Doesn't change who we are. Doesn't change who we are. We're not scared. Put on your tefillin, like Ben says. Put on your tefillin.
It's the one time where it doesn't work, right? It says if you can't beat them, join them. It's by the Jews, it doesn't work.
Never.
No one wants to join. You can't beat us.
So that was point number.
They should join. We're not
I'm
joining.
saying if you can't beat them, join them. It's like okay, now the Jews don't.
Doesn't work.
This doesn't work.
Tikva means is coming from the other
Where's the
one,
other
which
side?
we usually go. Meaning, usually we say, am I facing backwards? Which way am I facing? I can face two ways,
Hoffnung.
right? First, I have to know.
Almost.
You know, when I started my business, I asked for a pincer, and he gave me one piece of advice. He says, throw a hook into the future to wherever you want to go, wherever your dream is. Just take a fishing rod, and go like this, and just go like this.
Oh, wow.
Nothing matters. Nothing, not on the side of you, not behind you, not on the other side of you. Just go.
Keep on
Just
cranking it in,
crank
yeah.
it in every day. Don't be scared of nothing.
When you
Doesn't matter.
don't, then when you don't catch it, they go again.
Again, you just keep going. You just keep
You're gonna
going.
have a couple
You
bites.
just keep going.
No, it's all the way
It
in the
doesn't
future.
matter about you.
Not
It doesn't
pulling it
matter
back
if you
in.
have any bites. It doesn't matter nothing. You do your
You just
thing
pull
every
it.
day.
You pull yourself to the
Every day,
future. You're not
just
pulling, yeah, you're
growing.
not pulling the future to
Just
you.
growing. It's just constant grind.
So I guess
You're
really,
gonna catch the fish.
throw
You
the
keep on
heavy
going
weight,
in.
and it
You
just
keep on
keeps-
throwing the line in.
It's
you're gonna
nothing.
catch it.
It's you have a weight, and you just throw it.
Yeah,
That's the thing, it goes in
Stop
deep. It goes in
Stop
strong.
thinking. Stop thinking about if you did. I feel a pull.
Did I catch it? Did I not catch it?
You gotta
Did I
go.
get the fish?
Why are you pulling in then?
Your job.
No, you're not pulling.
Oh,
No, you're not pulling in that thing. You're pulling yourself to the
Exactly.
future.
Yeah.
That's why I say maybe a weight and
I hear it now.
hook is continuing
a little
on.
bit like the difference
I'm just getting
between
ahead.
seven-
It should
Yeah, he
rip it.
said stop asking questions. You see the Shemaisli, you have to teach him to
What I
see
hear
the
from you is
Shemaisli.
like, I'm so sure, like, I'm gonna go and go and go and go, like, in.
I'm going without
Amazing.
looking behind me
Amazing.
and being worried.
Just sit
that,
there.
That past
It's not gonna
is
work
hurt
out.
me,
Right there.
That somebody in the future is gonna hurt me. There's no possible meaning. If
You're
I
your
jump
own
off the
limiter,
world-
baby.
If I jump off the world, there'll be a net to carry.
Oh.
More than.
Meaning I'm safe. Ein years boiler means I can't give up. I can't give up if I try to jump off the world.
When you're having this doubt, this thing
I
that's
can't-
saying no, you're not saying no to it, you're saying yes instead of the no.
Right, it's just fight or flight. Grab the bull by the horns. Face anything that comes. You got this.
Ein shum yish. It's
By
even more
how?
than that.
By
It's
believing
There's
in
no,
this.
there's no fight or flight,
When
because you're not
it's
touching
right,
the whole
it's
fight,
like
the fight or
that
flight,
movement,
only
right?
movement,
That possibility,
only going
if
in
when
and
that
out.
scared
That
you,
what?
you're playing the play.
Once you
Then
stop
you-
for fight or flight, you need the hope.
Pick it up and say,
I'm not like,
Well,
why you
remind
fighting?
you.
it, I'm just.
When you
No,
come
no, no,
face
no.
to face with
Once
a
you
beer,
need-
when you come
You're
face to face
coming,
with
you're
a beer,
coming in.
right?
Whatever you're
yourself.
prolific at, take the most thing you're most
You
prolific
look
at,
at him in the
and
eye,
you see it.
right?
and
You
then
look
you
him
move
in the
forward
eye
with that,
and you
because
say,
you know, I
I'm a
know
human,
this,
and
let that
I'm
flow
taking
very
up this
fast.
space, and have a good day, son.
I'm not telling you what
Please.
you're most prolific at.
Better.
But you're most prolific.
Yes,
Not what
please.
I think you're great
If
at.
he sends
But
his
you're great
fear,
at.
Right.
he'll come at you. If you
Conjure
give
that
him love,
feeling.
or just put him in his place.
Ruminate with it, or whatever,
If
that
you're
resonate
not
with
scared,
it. And then you take it and you
This
move
is maybe you do
forward.
with any animal.
Because I know
Yes.
the best
Stronger
for
it
that.
is.
That is your
And
whole life.
prison
There's nothing
mama's
in your life
there
that
because
doesn't
it would
exist
probably
there.
That's great.
because they sense
Now-
animal. They don't think they're
You come up to
feel
a
the
bear,
vibration.
You tell him, pipe
scared.
down, I'm
Then
a
what do you
human
do?
and
How do
you're
you just
behind
remember
me.
to
Go away from here.
Go
It's
away
my
from
place
me, it's my
here.
space.
It's
Break through that experience.
And he'll go.
Right.
Break through it.
So
Exactly.
instead of fight
But
or
the
flight,
second he sees that you don't know if you
He's
should run,
He's gonna grab you.
That's-
Yes,
that's-
he knows what's
that's
up. He
fighting.
feels it.
so the other thing
Fight.
was
Like a train. A train doesn't. A
Torres
train
Villa.
doesn't fight or flight.
it just moves.
It just
It just
moves.
goes.
Or it derails.
So that was number two. The Asul Yadish. Again, it's not letting any weight, any heavy weight, drag us down and not let us move forward. Is Yish. Yish is those
Because
heavy
because
weights
it's
that are
constantly
dragging
moving
us
forward.
down and not letting us
Consciousness is never going
propel
down.
forward.
It's only propelling forward. There's never, as the whole thing, it's always going forward. Hashem doesn't go like this. Hashem only goes like that. There's no candles. There's no stock market. It's not going. It's only going way up. In society, everything. Hunger is being eradicated. There's things that are moving that you have in your life that you're fearing that really have nothing going on.
What's the symbol of
Oh.
that's before you?
It's just it's a door. It's a door in the room. You gotta go out of the room. It's not you're not in the room anymore.
You go forward. When you start going forward, then you
It's a big mansion. Choose your room.
You're like, oh crap, now I'm
Breaking the
scared. I'm gonna
Satmar.
get to the next level.
The Satmar.
Satmar people.
That space where we
Sa-
listening.
What's the name?
You hit yourself.
What's
you
the
hit the
word?
next level of the chapter or whatever
Oh.
it is that you're
Sitzenanaroiges.
What's that word?
Shtitzaranaroiges.
What is this?
That's the intermediate. You can't.
Moses, mach mir sense.
I don't know.
Shtitzaranaroiges.
Roges meint der Ungezogenkeit?
The Rebbe uses it in Sifra Shmili showed it to me. Maybe Shmili could type the exact words in the chat.
So that's why I can't say it.
Hustlebugs have a problem with it. But the idea is that sometimes we're not feeling it. And sometimes we need to really turn ourselves on in a way where we get ourselves almost angry at ourselves to get ourselves going. Shtitzaranaroiges is that concept of, come on, dude, let's go.
Roges meint aggression ein
An
bisschen.
aggression, a
Shtitzaranaroiges.
an anger.
Ruhigkeit.
But
No, nicht Ruhigkeit.
Yiddish-
Opposite. Roges.
Ruhigkeit.
Roges is like, whoa, that fire.
Sometimes you need to, the Rebbe says, sometimes you need to.
To run. Yeah.
Shmili translated
Crazy.
light a fire under you.
Right,
Yeah, that's it. You gotta run.
same thing, same concept, same concept of Shtitzaranaroiges, another bumper sticker. Shtitzaranaroiges.
That's a good one.
We have to add this to the merch.
Sometimes we need it, that's what the merch.
That's gonna be good merch, yeah. A cap. Stitzer Roges.
So the next one he said was
Still don't
Simcha.
really understand. I need someone to explain it to me. No, no. It's,
Just get going, baby.
Simcha is a state of mind. Simcha is a choice. Simcha.
Wow.
Simcha is a state of mind. Simcha is a choice. Simcha is the consciousness that we see, the glasses we wear,
That we want to wear.
how we want it, how we show up to every situation. What is the situation? Like he was saying yesterday, two people can walk into the same situation. One is miserable and one is thrilled.
I'm an Alhamdulillah.
It's all
Nailed it. Nailed it.
exactly. Yeah, not so inside.
Not inside. He's famous over here.
He's talking about the podcast I did with Ushi.
yeah, I didn't
We
hear
had
about
an
that.
whole thing about
I didn't hear this
Alpha.
part.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. None of your business.
Why did I hear that part? I thought I watched the whole thing.
But really, you know, in every situation, what is my posture? How am I walking? How am I approaching this situation?
Is someone else telling me how to stand up? You know, how I should dress? Was it your mother? Is it your wife?
Is it the world?
No,
Your neighbor.
never the world. That's a little too broad.
I mean, the whole world is telling you you're a consumer. Follow this, follow the money, so that you can be like everybody. So you say, no, it's not me. I'm
Simcha
doing
is
everything
again,
opposite. That's Avram Avinu. You look at the world. He says, I'm going to do everything opposite that the world is doing.
the idea of knowing I'm doing the right thing, feeling content, feeling like I'm in my right place,
Sense of alignment.
sense of alignment, but it's
It's
an
the first time I hear it in that way.
But it's an avoided to get there.
It's
It's like that's like like joy. Is that a joy thing?
Well, you have
Not
so you
even
can't-
a philomena de shtusa.
because you say
Meaning
because
do stupid things sometimes.
To get there?
Jump and dance to get there.
you say
Wow.
because of
Yes.
the
Yeah, that's
Use-
flow. To get that flow.
use
To look at
the-
the
use
flow
the-
space.
Use, there's so many
So
tools
why?
at your
Because
disposal
you have to-
that we focus on
Because
some of these
of feeling
these
emotion.
tools that kept us safe, these
Of
negative
don't be
things.
jealous.
Yeah, yeah.
Envy.
Use
The
all
boundaries.
use all
Right?
these weird
How
things
can
to make you happy.
How can you- how
Don't
can
use
you
them.
make
Don't
it
use
happen?
your weird thoughts to make you sad. Use your weird thoughts to make you
Trip with
happy.
you to make you happy.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna laugh at something, make you a little weird. Okay, enjoy it. It's a little weird. Okay, I'm a little weird. Be good with that.
Yes.
Be happy.
And
Yes.
use it. Use your
Tell you
spiritual,
for it.
your weirdness, and make yourself besimcha.
That's
That's a
all.
philomena de shtusa. Meaning, ein chiddush kamayni ba'olam. If Nachman saying it about himself and his, teaching, he's telling it to everybody.
That a person should
Nachman says to
There's
fake
feel
it
it.
till you make it.
No.
chiddush
Faith
in
it till you make it.
Fake smile. Do we have the, how do you say that? first?
Most of the shtisa maybe is a fake smile.
Ze avoida, ze lo avoida. Oh, till you really smile. He's going.
How many we got?
3.
Okay, Chavra, we're gonna give you tomorrow.
Alright, shtar.
Shabbat Shabbos Kodesh.
Have a great and awesome day.
In the Kita Baran, we're in the middle of the Tavis moment.
Chog Gimel.
In the middle of the Tavis moment. But I wanted to cover over this stuff